Combat 19.
On March 13th, Pinnacle Combat lightweight champion Eric Wisely is packing up his belt and is marching it in to the U.S. Cellular Center in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, as he takes on a very dangerous Jared Downing in his own backyard.
I am Jared Downing. I'm from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I train with Team Hard Drive. A lot of cardio, striking, ground and pound, wrestling. Pinnacle is a great organization. I know Eric Wisely. I think he is a tough opponent. He is experienced. He's been around for a long time, but I don't think he matches up with a lot of the opponents that I've had in the past.
Eric Wisely, I train out of Clinton, Iowa. I'm recently at MFS. There's top-level guys here. Fighting for Harry McGlaris for Pinnacle is a big show around here, a local fight, and he always gets me a good fighter. He's gone against a couple of good guys, but nothing that I've faced or gone against. I think I'm a way bigger level than he's ever faced.
The game plan is go out there and push his pace.
Second, third round, he's going to start to slow down. I'd like to knock him out.
This isn't going to be one of your pitter-patter fights.
I'm going to call an overhand right.
I'm going to get in your face and push the pace.
She's in for a war.
Get ready to get finished.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the fight you've been waiting for, our final fight of the night. Pinnacle Combat 19 to the cell and back. This is a professional lightweight championship fight. This fight is scheduled for 5 rounds. It's being brought to you by Sun and Fun Motorsports. Fighting out of the blue corner with 9 wins and 4 losses, standing 5'5", 154 pounds. He's a freestyle fighter with wins over UFC and Strikeforce opponents. Training with Hard Drive MMA from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Sponsored by Gary's Tattoo, Jared Demon Eyes Downing. Fighting out of the red corner with 22 wins and 9 losses, standing 5'8", 154 pounds. He's a freestyle fighter, black belt in Taekwondo, black belt in kickboxing, and he's finished 4 UFC veterans. Training with Militant Fighting Systems out of Clinton, Iowa. Sponsored by Gary's Tattoo, Eric Wisely.
Here we go, the main event. The belt is on the line. Eric Wisely, the defending champion here, taking on Jared Demon Eyes Downing. And Rob Spangler joined by Nick the Cowboy from Hell Marin, Justin Taylor. Guys, the fight we've been waiting for all night long, and not just because it is the main event, but perhaps maybe this is the fight of the night.
Yeah, that was my early pick for fight of the night, and you don't always get to say that about the main event. And this is just a fight that's been years and years in the making. These guys have been running the same circles for a long time, and finally we got this together. We needed a marquee fight like this to main event in Cedar Rapids, and bam, we got it, and I'm just so excited.
Here we go, some early striking.
It's hard to ever pick against Eric Wisely here, but if we're going to grab someone we can pick against, Jared Downing would be one of the top picks here, if not the top pick. So, yeah, I'm super stoked for this. I hope, Nick had mentioned last fight he's a little speechless watching. I hope that doesn't happen here to me.
Oh, Wisely fell down. He's on his back early here. Downing trying to inflict some damage on top here. Ooh, got a pretty good shot into the side of Wisely's face.
I think he just slipped there. He wasn't quite on that KRNA logo there when he lost his footing. Might be just a wet spot on the canvas from them sweating.
It's again Downing on top. He's in the white tight shorts. Eric Wisely in the red and black trunks underneath. His shoulders to the canvas.
These guys have had just a ton of big name fights, big league fights. In my eyes, Jared's still the RFA champion. he lost the decision to Lance Palmer, and I don't even know that he lost 2 rounds of those 5, let alone 3 or 4, I think is what they even gave him.
Yeah, I think controversial decision might even be an understatement. It's more of a robbery.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part about letting it go to the judges, isn't it?
Yeah, and speaking of, we had a mainstream fight not quite a while ago. It's one of the first times I saw Eric fight, and he fought Eric Koch, who's in the corner, current UFC fighter in the corner of Jared Downing right now, and one of his best friends his whole life. If you ask the Clinton people, they think that he got robbed in that decision. I saw it from the other side of the fence and definitely thought that Eric won the fight, Eric Koch. But that was just another fight where you could give every minute of every round to either fighter. So how do you score it, I'd like to go back and watch it again now that I'm, so many years removed from it. So these guys, they go the distance and they win decisions, and then sometimes it doesn't, fall in their favor. They just stay real busy, do a lot of damage, and spend a lot of time putting people away too.
Yeah, speaking of doing damage, I mean, early on here in round 1, it looks like Downing is, I guess, inflicted a little bit more damage on Wisely than vice versa, but Wisely's doing a good job of defending from the back, isn't he? And that's something that, from previous fights, watching Eric fight in Pinnacle Combat, he is a good technician from his back.
Yeah, I think he spent the whole, was it Justin McElfresh fight on his back, and he won a decision.
Yes.
And, they get up, and, the guy that's been on top is just goose-egged all over.
Yeah,
and the guy
the
on bottom
elbows.
didn't barely have any damage at all. So
yeah, Wisely's good at throwing those elbows from down.
I disagreed with that decision call in the fight, and then I watched the broadcast, and I was like, man, Eric won that fight. So I need to just quit picking against him because he definitely has won those fights,
Absolutely.
One thing, Nick, before we kind of came on the broadcast here, you were talking about these guys just being 2 of the nicest guys in the world. And one of the things I noticed in the pre-fight there when they were announcing each fighter, the other one was clapping and kind of trying to pump the crowd up for the other one. It was kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, and I tell you, the negotiations for this fight were just awesome. I was like, we found Jared was training again, and we were ready. We've been trying to bring him back in to Pinnacle, and I said, hey, you want on this show? And he said, yeah. And I said, okay, you haven't fought for a year.
Oh,
what kind of opponent do you want? And he's like, really? Did you just ask me that? He's like, give me the best guy you got. And I said, well, Eric Wisely's been asking to defend his title. And he's like, that's the fight I want. And then so we call Eric Wisely, and we said, hey, how about Jared Downing in March in Cedar Rapids? And he says, he says, only if it's 5 rounds and for the belt. He wanted the highest stakes. So one guy wanted the toughest opponent, the other guy wanted the highest stakes. So that's just the kind of fighters these guys are.
Well, they got what they wanted. I think the fans got what they wanted here tonight, too. It's a pretty good first round so far. Both fighters back on their feet now after Downing was on top of Wisely for a while, but Wisely, again, a good technician from his back.
Both of them just there after they set up, traded some leg kicks that we kind of overlooked, but they were some solid leg kicks from both guys.
And just about done with round 1. A little flurry action there. That'll do it. Round 1 in the books, and boy, hopefully this one doesn't go to a decision either, because judges are going to have tough work out for them if this fight continues to go as even as it was in the first round.
Yeah, you're just going to have to quit asking me who I think won what rounds, because you're making me look bad up here.
Here we see again, we watch some of the replays of the first round. Mindprint Productions again, providing us with the replays here. Not a ton of stand-up action here, but I think, I'm not calling it this way, but I think if I had to guess how the judges are scoring it, I think they're going to give that to Jared, since he did spend a majority of time on top. We did talk throughout that round that being on top doesn't mean you're winning, doesn't mean you're going to win. But if I have to guess how they're going to judge, I think that's how they would see that round. It's hard when there's not a lot of damage on. It's hard not to give it to the guy on top.
Yeah, and when the guy's on top and he's landing some punches, and the guy on bottom's, in this particular round wasn't landing much, then yeah, you have to kind of probably score the top guy the winner of the round. But like I said, how do you really score it? These guys that was just a dead even round.
So we got the warm-up out of the way. We'll see what these last 4 rounds bring us. Neither guy's breathing heavy, barely sweating.
Now, the thing I like about Wisely in particular is how he is just like the Energizer Bunny. The guy doesn't quit.
No. He's got a lot of Clay Guida to him, where he just goes. The difference is that Eric lands when he strikes instead of does damage. He's like Clay Guida with damage. Actually finishes fights.
Nice leg kick there by Wisely. Yeah, Wisely, you look at some of the footwork he has. He's just warming up here.
Yeah, I struggle in between rounds. Do I watch the replays here or do I watch Wisely, because he never stops moving between rounds. He's jumping up, he's pumping the crowd up. He doesn't stop. As soon as he gets in that cage, it's like he has a motor that will not quit.
Downing trying to work his way inside. Once again, pretty even matchup here. Little flurry there.
Oh.
Downing staggered for a moment. He recovers quickly, though, and tries to take down Wisely. Wisely spins out of it.
Well, Eric did run in to try and attack, and he actually caught a punch from Jared there. So I think Jared might have a clear head again, but he landed a counter punch real nice there.
That's just drill work right there, You drill. You build those reflexes, and those are the kind of shots that come out of it. I think Wisely's traditional martial arts background, the footwork he carries from it, I think that might have Jared just kind of a step behind it in some of these exchanges. Trying to follow the leader there as he's switching stances and squaring up his stance, which is both feet straight across, and then back to whichever stance he chooses.
Approaching the 2-minute mark here of the second round. Again, a title belt on the line. Eric Wisely, the defending champ. Jared Downing, the challenger.
Whoa. Wisely kick there, just missed. Downing's head.
Body shot from Wisely. Another shot there from Wisely. Yeah, it almost looks like Downing's just a step slow.
Yeah, and that, a lot of Eric Wisely's opponents find that that's the case. They might just be a step behind. Could it be ring rust? Possibly. Is it just, Eric's that much quicker? We'll kind of see how that plays out. I can't imagine Jared, is getting tired by any means. I don't know if that punch he took, maybe slowed him down a little bit, but I think we're in for a good last minute here of round 2.
Yep, we're into the final minute of the round. Again, a pretty even round, though, when you look at it.
Yeah.
Wisely maybe did just a touch more.
I do think this round's a little bit easier to call. I wouldn't call it easy, but easier than the first round. I would give it to Wisely so far. He had landed that good shot. He seems to be a little bit more active and landing the cleaner shots. But credit to Jared, he's not going away anytime soon.
No, and Jared keeps coming after him and trying to square it up and looking for an opening. And he gets a takedown. About 20 seconds left in the round. Downing's on top, gets a takedown. Got a couple shots in on Wisely, but now Wisely is scrambling and has one foot up the cage.
Yeah, Downing going to work there, trying to steal the round, and Wisely answering right back, not letting him.
Yep. Wisely giving him some love taps from down low. And that'll do it for round number 2. A active round, especially towards the end. Nice takedown by Downing, but I don't know, did Wisely do enough to win the round?
Well, once again, I speak. The fighters in the cage proved me wrong where I said it was getting a little bit easier to call. I don't know anymore. That takedown, we talked about it in previous fights, that takedown at the end of the round, and he didn't just sit on it. He didn't take him down and land him like some guys do. He was active, but at the same time, Eric was active from the bottom. So I'm glad I'm not a judge. That's if I ever have that thought in my head that I want to go try and get certified as a judge, I think someone needs to slap me and say, don't do it.
And we've seen the replay here of the shot that Wisely threw that staggered Downing, and that was probably the most impressive, punch so far in this fight. But again, Downing has kind of controlled things when it comes to taking down Wisely. He's been able to do that a couple times.
In that here you go. The guys both standing in the cage, pumping the crowd up, high-fiving. It should be a good round.
All right, Party, you ready? Party, you ready? Let's go.
Round 3 underway. Eric Wisely, defending champ here for Pinnacle Combat.
Ooh, that was a huge leg kick.
Yeah, very nice. There's another one,
There's
too.
one for the other side.
Ooh.
Nice misdirection there by going high, low, high.
Oh, boy.
I tell you what, Wisely is really
going after the
coming on
legs,
strong here early in this third.
Oh.
Ouch.
I think there's no doubt those are starting to add up. Jared's looking a little tender on that leg. It's going to take more than that to stop him, but I think those are definitely affecting him right now.
Yeah, those are some very strong leg kicks that Eric Wisely just threw here at the beginning of this round.
And like Nick said, he threw a low kick to the outside, a low kick to the inside, then came right back with a high kick. I mean, he's really throwing you off there.
Downing again, just trying to stay the course, but boy.
Oh boy, that leg's damaged now.
He looks like he's really taking it. Now Downing goes for a takedown. I think he took enough leg kicks where he said, I've had enough of this.
Well, and Eric wasn't really setting him up. He was just letting him fly. And so I think, Jared ate a couple of them, timed one finally, took it down to the ground. And, for now his legs are going to be safe. And as we go in, we've got 2 more rounds after this potentially. That leg could start locking up. It's going to affect his ability to move, the power, his ability to take down. So we'll see. I'm kind of hoping there's a little bit of desperation that comes out of him and we just see an all-out slugfest here or something.
Watch Eric on his back here. He is just a technician trying to find ways to throw elbows because that is something he is, again, so good at.
Yeah, he's real good at creating space there and then just sneaking those bony elbows in there.
And that is really think about that, an elbow to the head.
Yeah, it's just skin on skin, bone on bone,
Well, we remember his standing elbow knockout of Jeremy Castro. That
Absolutely.
just absolutely came out of nowhere. They were in the clinch against the cage, and he threw this amazing, perfect elbow that just dropped Jeremy.
All right, let's work to improve.
Like one of the things that stuck out for that fight was, the incredible knockout, but in the post-fight interview, he apologized to the crowd and said, I wanted it to be a longer fight. I don't like these short fights like this.
Wisely scrambles back to his feet now. Downing is going to try for a takedown again, and Wisely defends it.
The sportsmanship both of these guys have, and they're acknowledging each other's good shots, good moves, and all that. You saw Jared, Eric defended the takedown, and Jared just kind of tells him, good job. The fact that they can do that and remain focused is amazing to me.
Once again, Wisely just showing off some great movement, keeping his distance. Another nice, strong leg kick there.
There's some damage to Jared's leg.
Oh, boy, yeah, he's in trouble. He went down.
Eric saw that, too. There's no way he didn't see that.
Wisely threw in some big shots. He's going to let him back up, but
he knows.
The left leg.
Left leg's just
is this is not going to last much longer here if Wisely continues to tee off. Here's Wisely.
Watch those up kicks.
May let him back up again. Yep, he will. But again, this is approaching the 1-minute mark of this round. But Wisely lets him up. But once again, you know where he's going to go.
Now, I don't know if Jared has any southpaw in his game, but this would be the time to switch to southpaw if possible to protect that leg. He's dropping those hands to block those kicks. I think Eric's going to see that, and I'd watch for a head kick to come here maybe.
Yep, Wisely sensing some blood in the water, no doubt about it. Going to keep going for that left leg of Jared Downing.
But Jared's got plenty of self-preservation in him. He's not going to quit. He's going to protect that leg at all costs. Try and get here to the third intermission of the fight and come back out.
Now, the one thing Wisely does have to be careful of is over-committing to going after that leg, too, because then you can get caught with something.
Well, Jared's wounded. It might make him a little bit more dangerous here. He's got nothing to lose at this point, if his leg's that messed up. So he might just start throwing some crazy stuff and catch Eric and finish this thing.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that happen in fights here in Pinnacle where, an injured opponent brings everything they have in one exchange and it wins them a fight.
Once again, another leg kick, and there is the round. The third round is in the books, but I think after the damage done from Eric Wisely to the left leg of Jared Downing, this one I think is a bit easier to score. I mean, I think clearly Wisely did the most damage in this round.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, here's we watch the Mindprint Productions replays. Always on top of our stuff here. The damage to his leg, right away. It's not too often you see these pro fighters, they'll show any sort of pain. That's one of the things that amazes me about this sport. So when you do see one of them flinch on something, it hurts. A guy like Jared isn't going to show pain. He probably goes through this much or more on a weekly basis at hard drive. So there's something in there, whether there's some damage to it. If it's just straight pain, those guys suck it up. So
think of it this way. To survive that round after being basically having your legs taken out not once, not twice, but three times at least, and he's still standing. I mean, that says a lot about Jared Downing.
He's in the cage right now waiting for this round to start, smiling, clapping, and you're basically begging the crowd to cheer more.
Yeah, I don't think he's allowed to go back to his corner if he's not coming back to start the next round. Those guys, those hard drive guys, they're hardcore.
This is basically a thing, a with your shield or on it sort of fight. You're basically going to either win this fight or you're going to get carried out of here.
Ooh. Head kicks from Wisely here.
Stereo.
Oh,
jeez. Took his leg out from the other side that time. And Wisely's going to continue to go after that. We're round 4 of scheduled 5 here in this title fight. Eric Wisely trying to defend his belt, and so far looks like he probably successfully is, unless Jared Downing comes on strong here down the stretch. But never count a fighter out. And Wisely showing good movement.
He's getting Jared to chase him. I think he's trying to set him up.
Yep. Kind of laying back. There's a leg kick from Downing.
Give him a little of his own medicine.
Jared's got a wealth of experience, and I know he's just not going to run right into something. So.
Well, that flying knee attempt just shows that leg's still working. It might not be 100%, but he's still going to use it. And he's going to throw it whatever he can with it.
Yeah. How many times do you see a football player tweak a knee and they walk it off and they're back a couple plays later?
Yep.
NBA guy, they'd sit out 3 or 4 games, but
sure. There's MMA and hockey players, the tough guys, and maybe the NFL, and then everybody else.
Yeah.
Wisely again in the black, red, and white trunks. Jared demonized Downing in the white tight shorts.
Jared just ate a jab and smiled.
Yep, Downing keeps coming back. He is not going away.
Jared's always been a great counter striker, and Wisely knows that. So he's keeping his combos short, and he's in and out real fast. Like the experienced striker that he is.
Yep, using the movement advantage too.
You can see the redness, on Jared's leg there. That left leg, he's going to be walking funny for a couple days, but I'm amazed that he just hangs in there.
And once again, Wisely just teeing off on that leg. Downing still upright, though. Boy, he's a tough customer.
You have to knock him out or submit him to stop him. He's not going to stop walking forward. Yeah, I think it's safe to say, you know, we're almost 4 full rounds into this. I think they probably have fight of the night wrapped up.
Yeah, I mean, I was, you know, you about stole the words out of my mouth. I was thinking the same thing.
You know, unless something, you know, if there's a knockout or submission, maybe they're going to go for a knockout or submission of the night too. But yeah, definitely, this is this is worth the price of admission right here.
Absolutely, Downing throwing a few haymakers. Almost looked like he was going to go in for a takedown, but well defensed by Eric Wisely. Ooh.
He really wants to land that head kick. Oh, boy.
Once again, this to the inside of that left leg. There's a body shot. Front kick by Wisely.
Yeah, he came back with a high kick and then a front kick, definitely coming from all directions. There's the counter striking that we talked about with Jared earlier.
Just love Wisely's body language.
You know, if this does end up going Wisely's way in the end, if he ends up winning, this is probably one of the best performances I've seen from a losing fighter. You know, Jared just hanging in there, not quitting. He's still trying to finish the fight. You know, even though, you know, the last, I'd say 2 rounds, he's clearly down the last 2 rounds. It doesn't stop. He's still going to try and finish that fight. That left leg, cut it off if he needs to, and he's going to finish this fight one way or another.
Oh, yeah. There's still a whole lot of time left in this fight, too. So,
yeah, we're approaching the end of the 4th round here. Looks like we are going to at least go to 5. And there we go. Round 4 in the books.
No.
And I agree with you, Justin. I think definitely taking the lead for fight of the night here in this title belt fight.
One thing I want to point out, unless a judge gave a 10-8 round in this last 2 rounds, which possibly could go that way, they don't usually. We argue about that every card. If they did not, it is very possible that Jared won the first 2 rounds possibly, and Eric won the last 2. It could be an even fight right now, and if Jared does pull out this last round, it's entirely possible that he wins the fight on points.
Yeah.
that is.
And now that is on 2 things. That's good for Jared possibly. I also think that might be a downfall of the 10-9 point system, because right now as a fight as a whole, Eric's winning this fight, no questions asked.
Yeah. The second half of this fight has been dominated by Wisely.
Right. So you see Eric, he's up there, he's ready. Jared's going to come out, maybe not on fire immediately, but this last round I think he's going to be a madman, and he's going to do everything he can to finish this. He knows he has to finish
Yeah,
this,
I think this is the sprint to the finish, maybe for both guys, really. You know?
And well,
if it is, like you just said, if it is 2-2, which I bet a lot of people would score it that way. I think I would.
Yeah,
I just hate to judge fights, especially if Eric Wisely's in them, because
there's a hug.
Yeah. 2 guys who love combat sports.
You know, and after this fight, you know, whoever wins, Eric's not going to be real happy about busting up Jared's leg. I guarantee he's going to feel bad. Maybe buy him a beer at the post-fight party.
Yep, got in another shot. There's a body kick going for the head. Oh, took out the leg again. Wisely continues to go after that left leg of Jared Downing, and Downing continues to stay upright.
You know, we may see the round of the year so far in Pinnacle Combat tonight, hopefully.
So it's definitely started that way.
Well, Downing still stalking after Wisely.
Yeah.
Wisely wildly thrown in, connects on a shot.
You know, if you're not a fan of either of these fighters coming into this fight, I think you're going to be a fan of both of them by the time this fight's over. There's no way you can't be. If you're not a fan of these guys, you're not a fan of MMA.
What a great fight.
Good.
Once again, Wisely going after the leg, and Downing staying upright.
Looks like, you know, Downey's starting to get a little bit of swelling on his face from some of those punches. He's just overall getting beat up, but you can't stop this guy.
No. He keeps coming at him, too. I mean, Wisely's the one who's predominantly backing up.
You know, it's unfortunate. We talk with the amateurs, no loss is really a loss, but unfortunately when you're at the pro level and you're trying to move back up to UFC, Bellator type stuff, you know, a loss is going to hurt you, but this is one of those things where you want both these guys to win.
Yeah, especially if you know them personally. Like both these guys, you want to see them in the big leagues, and I'm glad to be able to put this fight together on our show, and hopefully it sends one of them back, and performance, you know, the second place performance here is good enough to get you there too, I think, you know.
You're going to take either of these guys, win or lose, and you throw them on a lot of these other shows below us all over the Midwest, and they're going to clean the entire division out. So it's, yeah, I mean, a loss here is tough, but it's a good loss if you can call it a good loss. It's top competition here.
Think of how many title fights we've had at this weight that went the distance too, you know.
Oh,
throwing
absolutely.
the Brian Garrity's and the Bo Loffridges, and
Yep.
and you know, it's just insane that these guys are so even.
We've had some great wars, and this is another one. You know, despite the fact that Wisely continues to attack the leg, Downing just, I don't know if he's numb to it at this point or what, but it doesn't quite seem to be as effective.
I don't, watching him walk, I don't think he's numb to it, but he's got that mentality of, like I said, if you want my leg, you have to break it off. Otherwise, I'm going to keep using it to beat you with it.
Wisely talked about in the pregame chat on the video that he wanted to finish him with a overhand right, but hasn't been able to do that to Jared Downing yet. Time running out, too. About a minute and a half left in this fight.
Yeah, he's definitely throwing enough of them.
I'm about ready to float off my seat here as this last minute's approaching because I think it's going to get crazy. I don't see Jared Downing not going nuts. Here we go.
Downing takes down Wisely.
If he can score here, he may have just taken the fight in one takedown.
Boy, what toughness by Jared Downing.
Hear the hometown crowd cheering him on. That's got to help that leg feel a little better.
Wisely trying to fight from his back. Always dangerous.
Well, the problem is you're on top of Eric Wisely, as we mentioned earlier. A lot of guys have gotten beaten up in this position.
Wisely trying to climb the cage.
I think we're going to look to see Jared try and get some space and just go crazy for the last few seconds we've got here.
Don't grab the cage, Eric.
Warning to Eric not to grab the cage.
Referee Bruce Allen right on top of things. It's good to have him, bring him in for his first Pinnacle.
There's a little bit of a flurry.
Here we go.
Wisely back to his feet, 10 seconds. Both fighters standing and exchanging. Both throwing overhand shots, and there it is.
Amazing fight.
We went the distance.
Wow. Look at the crowd. We look around. Everybody's on their feet here cheering these guys on. It's great when a crowd recognizes an amazing fight.
The U.S. Cellular Center is such a nice facility here, and Cedar Rapids, a great fight town. This was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, they've been training in basements in this town for 20 plus years. You know, Dave Scherzer and company, and it's like they've been doing jiu-jitsu longer than that even. And we've always been a fight town here. We had the mainstream MMAs that really put MMA on the map here. And man, it's just we're glad now to bring in Pinnacle and have a main event like this for everybody to go home and talk about, tell their friends.
No doubt about it. Well, we're gonna let the judges do the hard part, which is determine the winner. But I don't know. What are your gut thoughts about who might be coming out victorious?
I don't score it like a judge. I have to look at it as a whole fight. I've got to say Eric Wisely. I hate to go against Jared Downing. He's a great guy. However, with the scoring system we have, I don't know.
All right, here is Dean Michael, our ringside announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a championship fight. Your Pinnacle Combat Professional Lightweight Championship fight, sponsored by Sun and Fun Motorsports. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a split decision. Judge Powers scores the fight 48-47, Wisely. Judge Beshin scores the fight 48-47, Downing. Judge Barr scores the fight 49-45. Your Pinnacle Combat Professional Lightweight Champion, Eric Wisely.
Kind of what we thought. Now, one thing I want to point out, as they announced those, when Jared got his win, he shook his head no, looked at Eric and said, absolutely not. That's the sportsmanship right there. Jared may have turned that belt down if that decision went to him. What a competitor. That is why everybody needs to be a fan of Jared Downing. His team Hard Drive, an amazing camp. Just these guys are amazing.
Absolutely. Wisely once again retains his championship belt. And we're going to send it down to the ring with Nick Marin. He will have a word with Eric Wisely right now. Let's send him down to the cage.
We're here with our champion, still Eric Wisely. Come down from Clinton into hostile territory, fight a guy like Jared Downing. I said during the commentary, I said you guys both asked to get on this card. I said, who do you want to fight? They said, give me the toughest guy you got. As soon as I named either one of you, you're like, give me that fight. So, Eric, how do you think about your big win tonight?
Fun, that's all I got to say. I knew he'd be a tough opponent. I'd like to think it went better, but it was a tough-ass fight. So props to Downing. They come from probably one of the best gyms around. So.
All right, there's our champ again, Eric Wisely. We also have Jared here with a couple words.
Yeah, when I took a fight with Eric Wisely, I thought it was going to be, of course, a tough fight. It's going to be a good brawl. I thought I definitely had what it take to put him away, though, for sure. He came in here a tough-ass dude. He took my leg out, slowing me down, which was his game plan. So, stopped my wrestling, too, and he did end. He made me look kind of pretty here, too, I can see from here. Everybody props over here to the champion, Eric Wisely. Give it up. He's the man. Also, I'm going to be taking a couple more years off and be a dad and go that route for a little while. But I'll be back in a couple years. And the after party is at Jersey's, so everybody make it out there, right?
He's got a room saved.
Yeah, I got the back room saved, so Eric Wisely, you better be there.